Okay, there we go. Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. We recorded our file folder fodder project week 3, and now we're going to do the regularly scheduled Monday show. So thanks everybody for being here. We got a full house, which always surprises me because I stream at 9 a.m. Eastern, and it's quite early for a lot of girls, especially like Deb on the West Coast and stuff like that. So thanks everybody for getting up and being here. I appreciate it. And so, anyway, we'll get on to Happy Mail. And I got some new color books, some new projects that I'm working on in art journals. So, I think we might just do a little finishing up some art journal projects. I'm really zoomed in here, guys. I mean, the camera, I'm not zoomed in, I've got the camera really low. It seems like if I keep my camera low rather than zooming, it's a little bit more clear. So hopefully everything's good there. I was showing that these are some watercolors, and they didn't come like this. Don't anybody get upset. Oh, where do you get that stack of watercolors? These are all the old making memories, little stackable things that you would put your old brads in. You know, your little brads and your little, what do you call it? Little eyelets and things like that. But I had some of those. Let me see what brand they are, because somebody will ask. Some Chinese watercolors in these, and I know there's a name for them. I can't remember, but anyway, I've squeezed out most of them into these little containers. And so because they're stackable, now let me give you a couple of hints here. One is when you first put your liquid watercolors in these, they're liquid. Don't forget that. Don't start tipping things over. As you can see, I did on that one and I think another one. You need to keep them separate. See, they come apart like this. Keep them flat until they dry. This is the one I need to clean. See, I got how that one leaked out because I didn't let it dry. Let them dry before you start stacking them up. They all twist together. Okay, but what I did is now if I need a color, I can just flip it out. See? So if I just need a little bit of color, I can just flip out the little. And I got to clean that blue one. That's the one that leaked. So you can see there, it's just if you just got 10, 12 colors that you want to keep handy, then a little stack of them. Okay. So there's that. All right, so I'm just going to set that out of the way. I'm going to set it out of the way over here. Okay, so let's get on to Happy Mail. I want to show some stuff, and I have not really gone through it. I've glanced through it, make sure there's nothing on my hands here. Stack of Happy Mail from Xandra. And we already been talking about the little sock monkey charms. And I already told the girls I'm going to glue those sock monkey charms, actually glue them into my adorable. An adorable is a faux dory. Sister woman, scrappy camper sister, makes these and sells them to help support her. She travels around the world 2, 3, 4 different times a year to different places on missions to help, countries that need her. So she sells these adorables. Now mine's all puffy and all, I got a lot in here, but she just sells just the covers with the band and the little what do you call it, a pin holder right there. You have to put all your own papers in it, just like you would a regular Midori, all right? But the reason I'm bringing this out is so you can see I got some little charm things hanging off there. But what I'm going to do with my little sock monkeys is I'm actually going to glue them on the inside because they're just so stinking cute, and that's the way I roll. Okay, so anyway, thank you, Z. Thank you, Z, for all the little sock monkey charms. Sorry, Janet. You did, Mama, for. So I love those, Sandra. So they're going to go in a place of honor in my adorable. And, okay, so Okay. All right, if y'all have any questions, put them in caps. All right, so here is the card that she made here that with the little note in it. And she just said, here are some cards that she made from an online class. And she sent some stamps for Hubster. I myself have, okay, she's been sending a lot of happy mail. And another thing that I also discuss with anybody that sends out a lot of happy mail, don't forget that you can get the little boxes and the kind of, I call them cardboard. They're more like thin cardboard packages that are about this big. Anything that you can fit in that cardboard package or those small boxes that are about this big and about that deep, they're free at the post office to just pick up, when you want to mail from with those. And anything you can fit in those, that either that pack or the box, is $5.95. So just FYI, guys, if y'all send any cards, don't send them in a $10 box if they'll fit in one of those smaller ones. Now the bigger boxes at the post office, about that big and about this big and about that wide, about the same size as the screen right here, they're $10.95. And those will fit 12 by 12 papers, okay? So those boxes are $10.95. So if you're going to be sending, not just here, but I mean anywhere, if you're all sending out happy mail to each other, make sure to get those free boxes or packs to put your stuff into mail. Now this is in the States. Again, this is not international, okay? You're not going to send, one of those packs, to Australia for $5.95. Just saying. This is in the States. Let me qualify that by saying. Okay, so here we go. She sent me some watches and rings and things to use in collage, all kinds of watch, because y'all know I love putting watches, any kind of indication of time on my artwork. And then she wrote notes for each of the little sets here. 3 bundles and 3 different notes. So I just looked at the top ones and read the notes, so we're going to go through them in depth and see how she made these. If y'all have any questions, put them in caps. Yeah, I wish Canada had that. Yeah, Carrie, exactly. So, okay, so here we go. So this card, she says, this is from, and I got to get it right, Dina Wakely. I try to remember Dina Wakely, Diane Reevely. I get, everybody does it. Everybody gets their names mixed up. This is from Dina Wakely class. Paint on tissue paper and apply with gel medium and her new stamp. So this is the card that she made here. And you know what? Oh, let me say this real quick. I know I'm recording. No, baby, I better not. I better not say that on recording. After all, I'll say it another later. Okay, but anyway, so here is her new stamp, and Sandra made all these. She's got a little bit of book text, some paint, and it's textury feeling. So I guess Dina Wakely made her pile on the acrylic paint. And then her new stamp, which looks kind of watercolory. So if y'all want more information on how to make any of these cards, make sure and check out Zandra's show. Zandra streams every Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, and Sundays late afternoon. I can't remember, some 7-ish, something like that. I did make it last night. I actually made about 45 minutes or so of your show. So check out Zandra. What's the name of it again? What's the name of your channel? Scraps to Beauty. Make sure I said that right. Scraps to Beauty, Zandra. Okay, so there's that card. Then this bundle, she had rubber bands around each little bundle here with the note on what it is. These are from an online class, Tiare Smith Designs Splotch Art. And I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. Tiare. Tiara Smith Designs, and this is splotch art. Okay, again, that's all she said. So if y'all want more information, check out Zandra. Okay, so and then this, I like how you have these opening like that, Zandra. I like that format. That's kind of a cool format. And of course, beautiful envelopes. Thanks, guys. And the girls send these, and they end up all either going out for birthday, thank you cards, get well cards, and all that. So when the girls send these cards to me, it's for me to send out, back out into the group. So if you're a part of my Ustream, and feel free to come over here. I wish I could do it for all my YouTube watchers as well, but I'm only able to do it if you're at my Ustream show. So thanks everybody for being here. Yeah, Xandra 17 on Ustream, Scraps to Beauty. So again, this is splotch art. I love, and I don't know, she used some iridescence there. What kind of paint is that, Xandra? That stands out from, is that some of those new paints with or is that some iridescent medium? That iridescent medium that y'all have been using? That is just, and there's a lag in chat, so I have to kind of wait for the answers. So there's that. Beautiful. Again, same kind of deal with different flowers. And I like how you have the little text going around there. Deb says, how about belated birthdays? If you're here in my Ustream and I don't have your birthday, send it to me and I will put you in the birthday book. So yes, this is like the third batch of stuff that Xandra has sent. And actually I just sent out one of her puppy dog ones. I think I have two left. One was a plain one that I sent out. Oh, I can't say they're here. A little thank you note, I think it was, to somebody here. And then the other one's a birthday one. That's all I got left of Xandra's. They've all been sent out. So thanks again, guys. Okay, so I'm trying to see what this shimmer is. I know it does look like a pearlescent paint, but I also know that a lot of the girls have been using some kind of a shimmer medium, an iridescent medium that they put in their paints to make it look like PBOs. Oh, don't tell Jean. Jean loves her PBOs. I think that's how you say it. So, yeah. So that just makes it stand out. Look at that. Did I miss what it was? It could be shimmering H2Os. Xandra's keeping us in the dark. She's not saying, unless I missed it. Oh, there it is. Metallic blue paint. Sorry, Xandra. I was throwing it under the bus. Xandra's not answering. Metallic blue paint. Okay. Again. Sorry, Z. Yeah, I know. Jean's a PBO gal. If that's her swear to go to paint. Oh, okay. So if these were in green, Jean would be sending me bribe money. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't email me. Okay, so I'm doing this now. And this one's not. This one does kind of look like just a shimmer, but not a shine. But I mean, I love the little writing and the little doodles. I love that. That's just awesome. So watercolory like. Deco Art Metallic Blue. Yeah, thank you, Lynn. I know you love your PBOs, Jean. And again, this one, I really love this. I love the colors in this one. That muted, sienna orange, kind of ochre and sienna color there. And that's in a purple envelope. So thank you for those. I'm going to keep a note here. Let me make sure Xandra signed them all, because she has a stamp. Okay, she just signed these. She has a stamp on some. Okay, so there's that. Again, thanks so much, Xandra, for sharing all this. It's awesome. I'm going to be sending you a hand-done art tag for your generosity. If you send me a book of stamps, I try to send you out an art tag, an art card, and if, I try to remember to do that with you girls. These are done with Ken Oliver's Color Burst Powder. And that's another thing I see all y'all talking about, the Color Burst Powder. So again, y'all have to just search it on YouTube. I'm sure there's lots of videos about it, but Ken Oliver's Color Burst Powder. Okay. Oh, do I have my upstairs? Okay. Oh, these are so, look at the little beesy. Okay, so these she's got, all right, these cards open this way, and these are hefty. She's got 1, 2, like 3 layers of card, but it's a little dimensional bee. Sorry, I don't mean to ignore the beautiful flower, but that little bee is just so cute. I can hardly stand it. Hey, Army Mom. Look at that little bee. It's a little dimensional. I don't know how Xander always finds these cute little things. But look, it's got the little wings there. It's a little dimensional bee. But the card itself is beautiful. And I love the way you did this little border treatment, Sandra. That's awesome. And they're color burst. I know. Look at Deb. Deb, don't send me any bribes. Okay. And speaking of Deb, though, let me check real quick here on the baby book Round Robin. I don't know if who's here that might have it. Is Angel Orla? Do you have it? I think it's at your house now. I think. Kathy sent it to Angel Orla. Am I correct? I think Angel Orla has the baby book now. And when you ready to ship it off, you're going to be ending up sending it to Sherry Shabs. So get with me, and I'll get y'all two together, or you two get together. Okay. All right. I know. Isn't that a beautiful? I love that. Okay. Let's keep going here. This one's kind of the same with the bee and the flowers. Oh, this one, the bee's coming the other way. How cute. Oh, yeah, to let him go. I know. That's what I'm saying. Sandra is so generous. Deb said, I bet it was hard to let these go. So, but I tell you what, guys, you may not always see the feedback from the people that receive the cards. You just don't know how much it means to them when they get one of you other guys that make the cards. When they get one of your cards, it is very, very meaningful to them. It truly is. So, okay. So, all right. So you should be getting it. Okay. Then, yeah, because I think Kathy mailed it to you. So you should be getting it then, Angel Orla. I'm pretty sure that was the order. Okay. But anyway, so it really does mean a lot. That's kind of like, oh, it is kind of like a chipboard. That's why they're hefty. It's kind of like it's like a watercolor board of some kind. What's that on, Sandra? It's some kind of a watercolor board. Okay. But anyway, what I'm saying is that everybody that gets a birthday card, a get well thinking of you, a thank you, whatever. And these are nice too because uh, that way they can be the birthday thank you, get well. They can be anything. So I really like that I can send these to different ones. Okay, didn't see. I must have missed it. Okay, let me make sure okay. So I'm not sure. It's some kind of a board. It's thin. It's not like matte board. It's thin. Okay, thanks, Orla. Appreciate it. So here's a blue and yellow one. And again, this one, let me feel again. I'm not sure. I think that one was just stamped. These are embossed. So it's got gold. There we go. See, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous, guys? Look. And brushos. Yeah, I mean, that's another one that I see all y'all talking about. I have no idea what any of them do compared to one another. Maybe one of y'all that has all of them, someone like Paula or Sandra, has all of them. Can do a comparison. No pressure. I know, isn't that lovely? Look at that. So this has an and that's some fine embossing there, Zandra. That's some good. That's some dang good embossing there, hun. I'm saying. Look, that is like spider web thin. Spider web thin. Yes, yes. Jean, before you got here, I already said that. Yeah, it goes. She was not in my birthday book, but she is getting. I know, Jean. I'm sending her 2 cards. You weren't here, Jean. You're late. You slept in, so you didn't hear that announcement. Yes, Jean, I am. I'm sending her 2 cards out today. Yeah. Hey, Vicky. Just saw you. Okay. So yeah, but I'm not going to say that on recording. I don't want to say that on the recording, Jean. Thank you though. Okay. Again. I mean, it's just amazing the detail, and it's the color burst powder, Ken Oliver's color burst powder. I still haven't seen what she's using on this, what the board is, because it's not matte board. It's thinner than matte board, but it's a board. That's all right, Jean. We like to tease you, Sassy. But I love these little bees. But I tell you right now, nobody's getting these. Forget it, people. Janet. Watercolor. It's watercolor on chipboard. Okay. Just white chipboard, I guess, huh? Okay, because it's not matte board. It's thinner than matte board. You can see there, but it's so nice. It makes a perfect little card. Water. Okay. Well, is it watercolor paper? Thick water? Oh, maybe it's just like a 300 pound. Is it just like a 300 pound watercolor paper? Okay, you're watching this recording. I have no clue, guys. I think it's thick 300 pound watercolor paper. But Sandra went to get coffee. No, I'm just kidding. So thank you so much, Sandra. Those are just awesome, awesome. And yeah, I'll be sending out who Jean said a birthday card and I think a get well card from one of yours here, Sandra. Okay, so she'll be getting one of your cards as well. So thank you, and thank you for my own card with the nice note and the shimmery butterfly. Okay. All right, somebody needs to put Miko in the corner. Okay, thanks, Sandra. And thanks for the stamps. Oh, I will say this. Now, I mean, somebody might think, well, that's not, but if especially if it goes overseas, here's what you need to do if you send a card. Now, these bees are not that bulky, really. But if you have something lumpy on your card, and especially if you're sending it overseas, I do this. I'll write the message, but I'll turn it inside out because then it's not bumpy. It's like flattens out the card. So, if you're overseas and you get a card from me from one of the girls that has some embellishment on it and it's backwards, I did that on purpose because it keeps the card flat. It makes it go through international mail much better, all that. So that's just a little tip if you don't, or just go ahead and put extra stamps on it. But international, you really save a lot if you can make your cards flat. So just like, put the back to the front and it keeps them nice and flat. Yeah. So that's just a tip for international, especially. Okay? All right, where's my rubber band? I want to keep the information on each one so that I know how she made that. Okay, so thanks, Sandra, for all the loveliness. Okay, let me put my sock monkeys in my adorable. Sorry, Janet. Okay. All righty. So now let me get my focus back again because it kind of flashed out. There we go. Yeah, just a little tip there for keeping your cards. Xander said the bees will cost. Yes, I saw. Yes. But you know, if I flip them the other way, they probably won't because it makes the card flat again. Okay, so I have a couple color books I got. I did show this one a minute ago. This I just got at the Five and Below. It's kind of like a dollar store. It's Five and Below. Everything's under $5. This was $1. And it's literally one of the kids' color books. So it's just that thin newsprint type that you really want to color with color crayons or not markers because it'll definitely go through. Um, or color pencils. But I think what I'm going to do, because y'all know I have some color, I have some crayons. I have the sniffable box. I have the sniffable travel box. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. I love the smell of crayons in the morning. Yeah, I love the smell of crayons in the morning. So I have one box here that's not for use. This is a non-used box of crayons, and every couple years I'll replace it because it's just for sniffing. Excuse me, just one moment, please. It's just for sniffing. And Sister Woman, Jonna, Scrappy Camper Sister, was worried that if I ever went up to my daughter's house and needed some crayons, she was worried for me. So she made me a travel emergency crayon sniff box. So anyway, yes. But you know, there's all kinds of different kind of crayons too. There are twistables, small ones and large ones, and the twistable pointy ones that are kind of like color pencil, and then they have the twistable kind of bullet tip type crayons. So there's all different kinds of Crayola crayons. I also got a whole bunch at Walmart when school supplies, I think they were 25 cents for a box. So I got a few boxes, extra boxes of 24 for a quarter. I think they were 25 cents. So what I'm saying, yeah, you gotta watch Vicky's links. Okay, so Vicky is saying on Amazon today, enabler alert if you're watching this recording. On Amazon today, some Crayola things are 40% off, and there's a case of 152 crayons for $8.99 US. Amazon. I can't vouch for CA or anything else. Okay, so yeah, but anyway, so this is just the regular color book, you know, the newsprint type. But it was just, how could I resist a Star Wars color book for goodness sake, right? I mean, really? How awesome is that? For $1, right? And then a box of them. So I did get me a Star Wars color book. On to the what they're now calling adult color books. All they just mean is like they look like clip art, but and we probably used to use them like Dover clip art. So I have a couple different projects that I did over the weekend. Sorry, I just bumped my head on the stick there, but I did buy 3 new color books. These all I got at Michael's, and they were Creative Haven is a good price. They're like $5.99. If you can find Creative Havens at Hobby Lobby, you can use a 40% off coupon. These are like $5.99 at Michael's. Michael's, you cannot use a coupon on any kind of books. But Creative Haven are carried at Hobby Lobby. So use your 40% off coupon if you go to Hobby Lobby. I got this one at Michael's. When I first walked into Michael's, it was like they have a whole new standout, and it was a wreck. The manager came by when I was digging through, and he goes, "Do you need some help?" I went, "No, I'm going to be here a while," because it was like people had gone through it. Nothing was in order. Like, and so I had to really, I spent about 10 minutes digging through color books just for these 3. This one was $5.99, and I promised myself, hi Lisa, that I wasn't going to get any more color books because I really loved the color books that I had. But my inner scrap chick, Colleen, came out and made me buy some more color books. I blame her because she has literally every color book. I'm serious, girls. If y'all have not seen Colleen's color book collection, oh my gosh, yeah. All right, so the Japanese kimono designs, I love this. I've already cut out, and this is one-sided. You know, it's not a double side like some of the Dover ones are. And I know some of y'all don't like to color in your color books. You'll make copies and use them. If it's one-sided like this, I will tear them out. They're perforated. I will tear them out, use them, and cut them up. Here's my thinking on this, girls. Here's my thinking. How many times am I going to want to color that same kimono over and over? Probably not, especially when I've got a book full of them. I don't need to have a copy of this one. Probably am not going to recolor it. So let me just kind of flip through just so you can see, and then I'll show you. I've colored 3 of them and put them in different journals. Okay, so I'll show you the ones I've colored already, cut out and colored in a minute. But these are the ones, everyone's different. And here's the thing that I enjoy doing. If you go on Google Images, look up kimonos and kimono fabrics. I did that years ago in another glue book, journal book I have, where I did a whole composition book. Well, not a whole one. Do we ever do a whole one of anything? But I have a half a composition book of kimono designs. Now, maybe I've got so many composition books, I don't know which one it's in. But I have a composition book of kimono patterns and designs. So just look up the fabric. Look up the fabrics, kimono fabrics in Google Images, and you will see tons of them. And I like to draw them personally. I like to draw them and color them. Just the whole sheet of the patterns. But if you want to see how to color them in cool combinations, that's a way to do it. This is what I was getting at. So you can kind of see there's just awesome different ones, and I'm just going through here quickly. Okay. And I'll show you what I've done with the 3 I colored already. And there's like, how many designs? Over 30 kimono designs. Okay. I'll show you that in a second. Then I got these 2 Dover ones that were $3.99. These were only $3.99. They're thinner, okay? But the Dover coloring books are less expensive. Eileen said that she went to a kimono store in California, and boy, their fabric expensive but beautiful. I think I'd want to go in there. I don't know if they'd let you, Eileen. I'd want to go in there and just photograph the fabrics. You know what I mean, Berg? Okay, so these 2 are Dover, and they were $3.99 each. So I thought, hey, score! And they had tons. They probably had on the Michaels standout when you first go in, a tiered shelf thing, wire shelf thing. They probably had a minimum, I'd say 50 different ones. Now, they're not all Dover. They had tons of Dover. They had the Impressionists, they had Picasso, they had, these $3.99 books on all different types of art history time periods. They had all kinds of Creative Haven ones, which were $5.99. They had the Zentangled type ones that were $9.99. They were all mixed in and jumbled in. So it wasn't just like one brand. It looked like somebody had already hit that stand heavily. Because nothing was in order anymore. I mean, while I was going through, I was trying to, let's put the Dover ones together and the Creative. I was trying to kind of like, and then I said, hey, that's not, I'm not going to sit here and reorganize. I wanted to, but I wasn't going to reorganize the whole Michael standout for. Okay, so this one was Angels, $3.99, and again, all different kinds. Now, the Dover ones are double-sided. So if you do want to use markers, you do need to make a copy with these. I did make a couple copies out of this that I just wanted a bit of it, so I would just like copy right there, like that, because you can't really color with markers in these. They just, we'll go through even the cheap Crayola water-based markers that I use for under coloring. before I put the color pencils on top, it would go through. So it doesn't matter if you don't care about the other side, but I'm sure most of us do care about the other side. So you will have to make a copy to, if you want to color and cut it out and put it in your journal and stuff like that. I see, I follow a couple of, not blogs, but Twitter, and I do not follow the color book site on Facebook. That's just like I would have visual overload. But there is a Facebook group for coloring books, maybe probably more than one. Ask Miko. Miko knows everything. He bought some $5 paper pads that you didn't need. Well, what you need to do is make art journal pages with them, my fairy treasures. Color, or if you want to copy one, color it, cut it out, and make journal pages with. Now you can't sell those, people. Don't try to make copies of this stuff and color them and try to sell them. I mean, I know everybody here knows that, but this is for your own journal pleasure. Okay. Uh, so anyway, this is the fairy one. Now some of the backgrounds I really like. I mean, I'm sorry, the angel one. I got showed the fairy one last week. Okay, so, but they're a good size to use like in your Diane Reevely Dilutions journal. Well, any journal actually. But, and I'm going to show you some of the ones that I've done with some color books in my Diane I say it real slow because I get Dina Wakely and Diane Reevely, their names mixed up. I love this one. I'm going to have to do something with that one. That one's really pretty. And see, when if I copy this, I'll cut just that angel out and just throw the border away. I don't know. If I colored it in the book, you cannot use markers in this. I'm telling you, it will go right through because they're not thick pages. All right. So that's the angel one. That's by Dover. Again, $3.99. And I love this one. I love anything medieval. I've read a lot of stuff on that time period, but these are the tapestries. Oh, I might have to go back and get another one. But again, it's double-sided, so you'll have to make a copy if you want to keep any of them. But what they are is drawings based on the tapestries and bits of the tapestry. Some of these I recognize that's not the full tapestry. It's kind of like a detail close-up of parts of other tapestries. And they have a little bit of information on the bottom. Some more other ones of the Dover coloring books, like if they're talking about the different color books from art history ones, like if they have a whole book on the Impressionists, they have a little bit more information at the bottom talking about the different artists and time periods and things like that. So you can see. And the reason they call these adult coloring book is because look at the detail. Little kids, it's going to be a little tough for them to color all this with color pencil and shade and marker. But again, I don't mind cutting up anything. I don't like cutting it up if it's double-sided that I want the other side. But again, I don't mind taking them apart. I wouldn't have no problem deconstructing these, putting them all in some kind of a portfolio binder type thing. Doesn't bother me at all, except for the one that Paula recommended to me, and that's my Paris one. My Paris one, I am determined to just color that whole book and keep it together. So those are the three, actually four, color books that I got over the weekend. I don't think I spent less than $10. So, but again, they have a whole new Dover selection at Michael's. All right. Yeah, I saw that, Paula, on your recording. And you know what, guys? All right, we're going to have to do some recon on this. We're going to have to do some recon on this. Ustream now has taken away, and I saw Zandra and a couple of y'all talking about it already, taken away the bar where you can fast forward and back up. The volume bar is gone. Now, let me tell you this, though. You may not know this. If you mouse over, because it's invisible, But if you mouse over the right hand corner, the expand is still there. You just can't see it. But the other stuff is not. The volume and the slider bar for forwarding back and forth, like we do on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you know how you can slider your fast forward and back. You got your volume, got your settings, you got your expand the window. All that's right along like a little toolbar you mouse over. That's all gone on Ustream. It's all gone on Ustream. But if you mouse over the right hand corner, there you'll see the mouse hand pop. You can expand the video when you're watching it, because that's one of the things I like about being able to watch the recordings is I can pause it and all that. You can't even pause it. You cannot pause it to go to the bathroom and come back and catch up. You can't anymore. So I don't know if they're just working on it. The volume is there too when you hover over it. The pause button is there. Okay, the pause button wasn't there for me, Jean. Maybe I'll try a different browser. So yeah, I knew that the expand your window is there, but I don't like. Yeah, thank you, Jean. I will try a different browser for the pause button. I don't even mind so much. I do mind, but that you can't forward or back it up. But the pause button. If I want to go get some coffee and I'm watching Paula, I don't want to. I don't want to have to miss it. And I sure don't want to start over. So anyway, Ustream. We need to. Yeah, we got a little recon on Ustream. Okay, I knew the expand and the pause is there too when you hover. Thank you, Jean. No, I'm talking about Whippy Carol. I'm talking about when you watch the recordings, not the live show. I'm not talking about like here, expand. I'm talking about when I watch the recordings. I like to have it full screen. When I'm watching recordings and doing something else, I can glance over and, watch Xandra, Paula, or whoever. Any of you girls that stream. I try to keep up with as many as I can. But I did not like it that we couldn't pause. So thank you, Jean. I'll check on that. All right, let me show you what I've done now with some kimonos. I did 3 of them. Let's try to keep the focus here going with the lighting. All right. Oh, and one of them I cut in half because I only needed a half of one. And I also did some more out of the steampunk book. So I've done a few things. All right, so here's one of the ones that I colored and cut out, and this one is in my freestyle really big notebook. Sorry for the glare there, guys. This one is like, I don't know, a couple of inches thick. These books, this thick one, I got it on Amazon. They're like $25. Here's what I like about these freestyle really big notebooks. They have smaller ones too, and they're different themes. What I like about these is it has a full index. Okay, it has a full index for all 800 pages, and the pages are numbered all the way. All 800 of the pages are numbered. That's what I liked about this. Okay, this book I use for a glue book and kind of pen and ink / glue book. But I did put 2 of my kimono girls in this book. And then the other ones I'm using in my Diane Reevely book. Okay, you need to refresh. I have refreshed my screen when I don't have the toolbar at the bottom. Okay, so I did not have is the slider bar there, Jean? I have refreshed when I'm watching the recordings. I'm talking about the recordings now, guys, not the live show. Not the live show. I'm talking about on the recordings. The recordings do not have the slider bar, and I didn't know that there was a. Jean said that the volume and the the pause is there. All I had with my mouse over was the expand. Okay, but okay, so everybody, maybe it's just different browsers too. Yeah, on the recordings. Exactly, CB. She's having that problem too. And I did refresh, and it does not come back. Yeah, no slider bar. Yeah, no slider bar for anybody, even with refreshing. Okay, so we need to, maybe put in You know, the thing is about Ustream, they seem to somehow, like we have the bots here, maybe they somehow hear us and know that we have this issue and they fix it. I don't know. All right, so here's one of the girls that I did, and I tried to do her in like the traditional Japanese makeup. And some of these girls, I mean, I hate to say it, they do not look Asian at all. And don't email me and say I'm stereotypical, you know. But I'm just saying, some of them look more uh, Anglo, Caucasian. I don't know. Don't, you know, I'm not. Don't get me on the politically correct stuff, guys. But they don't look Asian. So I made sure that their makeup looked like how I see their full makeup, and when they're all dressed up in their kimonos and they have white face and the little red lips. I tried to do that on these. But here's, I'll try to get it so you can see some of the coloring. Thanks, guys. So there's that one. And I just cut her out and glued her in. And I'll do a quick little flip of this. I don't really have too much new in here. I did add one of those angels. I put her dancing on a feather, or walking on a feather, and pouring out stars. She's not finished. I'm not done coloring her, but I cut her out. So use bits, use parts of these color books. Like y'all saw, I did the fish in the other one, and I'll show that again in a minute. But I cut off half of her gown and all that and put her walking on a feather, pouring out the stars, and like influencing the writing. Okay? So don't feel like you have to use the full color page. I mean, like when I used, these girls here, I just ignored the background, threw it away, cut it out and threw it away. I just used the girls. So don't feel like you have to use whatever. Let me see what was in the background of that one. You don't feel like you have to use the whole. Here we go. So this is what that one looked like. So you see the clouds, see her feet and her gown and the stars down there and all those. I just disregarded that. Cut her out and put her like that. So, just use your imagination. Yes, you have imagination. Okay, let's see. I think I have one more here. So here's the other one. And I can't show you the original. This is the original. It's literally just cut right out of the book. So there's this girl. Hey, Lilith. Who else has popped in? Hey, Art Unit. So, and what I'll do here is I'll probably cut out some other flowers to make her like she's in a garden. So this will all be covered up, the edge right here. I could have put her right there on the edge, but I knew I wanted to put her in a garden. So this is going to have flowers down here, like she's behind the flowers. So there's that one. Yeah, it's this is all color pencil on the leaves. The yellow I actually did one I did with my yellow watercolor, and the other one in the other book I think is yellow marker. And then the red is marker with shading. It's all shaded though on top. So like for instance, I didn't use a pink on this one, but this is the kind I'm using. These are those cheap Crayola super tips. Okay, they look like this. The reason I like these is because you can get a thin line, a kind of a medium line, and a thick line. Okay, these are, oh, wow, that looks orange on camera. That's hot pink. What a color shift right there on that orange, or yellow, pink rather. So I'll do a base coat with a marker, Okay, and it will go through. It will go through. But this particular one is just one-sided, right? Okay. Um, depending on how much you color in, it'll go through in areas. And then I go back over it with color pencil. Go back over it with color pencil to do the shading, blending. Uh, I did like those little flowers there. I colored with a red marker on top of the yellow. Okay, then this is all color pencil and shading. See all the shading? Let's see here. So you can see where I shaded, color pencil. That's just black, a black pit pen. So, black pit pen. Okay. So just so you can see it on just a piece of white. I haven't put anything else around it. I at least wanted to show y'all that. So this book, what I use is for, this was from the flow, no, this was from, I think, the Paris one, either the Paris or the Flow. I can't remember now. But I cut that out, it just reminded me of me. So I colored that, cut that out here, and the same thing at the very back. I cut out and cut. I think this is from the Paris one. I think it's from the Paris book. And I made a copy of it to put in the book. So it's like coming and going. And again, it's all done the same type of way. Okay, so somebody's talking about Dinah making those. Donna making what? Links are open here. It's from the Paris one. Thanks, Paula. So I did copy those two pictures out of the Paris one because I'm not cutting up my Paris book. My Paris book will stay together. So that one and the front one, I did that. All right, so I'll just kind of do a quick little flip through here of some of the things. Again, this is kind of, I call this my glue book. Even though I did color a couple of the things, I glued them in. I cut them out and glued them in. So I've just got different things here where I've either cut out, then I've hand drawn, stamped, hand drawn, and doodle. I'm trying to keep pen and ink and glue. I know it's probably thinking, you have so many journals out, but I know what each one means to me. This one is a glue book with pen and ink, not pencil. In other words, I'm not sketching and drawing with pencil. It's all ink. So if you see any doodles and drawings in here, it's all just done in ink. I have other ones for sketchbooks, animals, pencil, mixed media, collage. I got them all. This one is just to have some pen and ink doodles, but I also add different bits of collage images, magazine cutouts. So, like this right here, this is the head of one model, the hands and sleeves of something else. Then I hand drew the skirt, and then just the little boot toppers are part of a magazine. Then I just drew the boots. So it's kind of like a combination glue book, pen and ink book. Yeah, but again, Vicki, these aren't books I carry around. I'm just sitting here at my desk when I do this stuff. So it's really not hard to do. Now, if I'm doing something on this, if you mean that yeah, it does fold over. What I do in this case and any of the big books I have is I'll put a box or something here. I'll put a Kleenex box or I can't think of what I got handy right here. I'll put something there that's the equivalent of about 2 inches so that this sits on top so it stays flat. Yeah, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I could not work like that either. It has to have some support underneath of it. So you can just kind of see here where it's kind of a combination pen and ink, cutouts, glue book. Drew some cats. some little color charts that I took. I redid another journal. I deconstructed another journal that had these in it. I think these are actually these. I think that's what these are right here. But I didn't care. I just like I didn't want to throw away just the little colors. They look too pretty. And again, that's an angel I just cut out. And then another angel I cut out, haven't done anything with. There's those, and then these two girls. And then all I have left is in the back. In the back, I have my color charts back here. Let me see if I can, where's the beginning? Oh, I got some glue on the edge there. Hang on. So I got some color charts. These are my ink tints. These are my my Neocolor 2s. These are the super tips. That's these. So I do have some color charts in the back. But anyway, this one is just kind of my current glue book. I've gone from gluing into composition books to this particular book. And then I just have one of these bands here, one of these smash bands. They had a bunch of these smash bands on sale for $1 not so long ago. So I got a few of them. And they will, you know, the whole pins. They have band things for the pins. I don't ever use that. Because when I go out, I have other little, you know, other kind of little cases and things like this, like my Mistel case, these kind of things, if I take pencils out somewhere. So I don't ever use these little bands, but it's nice if you just want to stick one in, you know, pencil or whatever. So that's my current glue book. Now, let's see, I pile this up here. Back over into my art journal here, and I'll do a kind of a flip here because I've glued some things in and I have a few pages in progress. Keep something here to get the light, so I'm losing the focus. Come on, focus. If you have any questions, put them in caps. Let me double check the chat here. Thanks everybody for being here. I saw them, Paula. I saw your Prisma swatches. You wrote everything else so neat, the color names and all that. It was awesome. All right, so another thing that I want to show you that you can do with your color books. This is an older one. And again, this is a Creative Haven, which is only one-sided. So again, on these, they're perforated. I'll tear them out, use them, cut them up, and all that. Okay. We've already cut out these giraffes and did them in blue and purple, and they're in this book. So I'm going to show you this book again and what all I've done in it. But what I want to show you is another idea. Now, I can't promise when we could possibly do this, but I'm thinking that a mask, you know, when I talked about maybe doing some kind of a mask thing, we really can't swap those without, for one thing, not those masks. If y'all missed that show, let me show you. And I am redoing the third one. So here's the masks that I did finish and posted online. This one, we did these. There are recordings for the full process for these. This one and this one. We talked about maybe doing some kind of a mask group thing, but I know not everybody can find these. See the little people walking up to the caves up there. And then I am redoing, I didn't like the way this one was going, so I'm redoing it. So I've already recollaged over the top of some of it, and I have not finished this one. I just kind of added some new collage over the top. But because not everybody can find those, we all can find the color books or clip art, and there's plenty of free, you know, color book, clip art kind of images online. So I thought it might be fun after I get done with the file folder thing, maybe toward, you know, in December or first of the year. I know people are busy in December. Is to do a color book cut out ATC swap. So this is a bit of this, and I didn't even finish coloring all this yet. It goes this way. I just really concentrated on this corner so I can make the sample for you guys. So this is not even finished shading or anything yet. It's just got a little bit of watercolor, and it will wrinkle a little, you know, but if you're going to cut it out and glue it on a ATC, this would be a fun idea for an ATC swap. You can make a copy of one of your favorite color book pages, color it, and cut it out, and just a bit of one of your pages. You know, ink the edges or whatever. Put your information on the back. You can put what color book you got it out of. So like this one, I would put it, you know, Creative Haven Naturescapes. That's where I got this page from. That would be fun, Eileen. And so then, and it doesn't have to, look, see, it's got a bit of just a piece of a wing there. So you could just pick out a section that you liked and, you know, put your card on it, you know, find the section you want to color. And I colored it actually on here. I actually did the coloring on here and then cut it out, but you could do it however you want. And that way we could have a color book ATC swap. What do y'all think? Would that be fun? I mean, I was all up on this one. I was all up on this. I mean, you know, if you like this, let me see, I got a couple of blank ones here where I put them. Well, I'll just use this for an example. I'll use the back side. So you would just find a section you want to color, see, and just cut, you know, just do that section right there. That would be a beautiful one right there. Hey, AJ. So we could do a color book ATC swap. Okay, what do y'all think? And I'll host it. And it is a lot of work to host, I gotta say. Ask Janet or any of the other ones that have done it. Especially when we have, you know, I don't know, I think we limited it to 25, I think, before. 25, because that's about all that I can handle, you know, as a swap. Because I'll get in all these cards, and plus I pay international shipping for the girls that can't, you know. So anyway, but I do always appreciate stamps. Always, Hupster always appreciates stamps. So anyway, this is just, so what I did is I colored it. I colored it on here, and see how, you can see where it bled through on the black. I colored on here, then cut out the section and glued it onto an ATC. I mean, just a piece of cardstock. You know, it could be 90 weight, 110 pound weight, whatever. White cardstock. I paint the backs of my cards. So I painted it, and then what I would do is, like on this one, let me get a pen here, hang on. Sorry guys, I know I bumped that. Let's see if this silver one is working. So then what I could do is then just write like Naturescapes by Creative Haven. Sign it. Date it. What's today's date? I think I did this yesterday. And then, you know, you can put your email or whatever, something like that, say. Anyway, so that's what I was thinking. We could do some kind of an ATC color book swap. You're in? Okay. Well, it won't be until, you know, I mean, I could do it while we're doing the file folder, because the file folder for me is like, I already know what I'm, you know, doing with it all and everything. But I don't know if y'all want to do another project while we're doing that one. I don't want y'all to neglect your file folder fodder. Just saying. Don't neglect your fodder. Oh, but anyway, all right. So usually how this works, and again, it's going to have to just be the Ustream gals because that's the only way I can keep up with people and their addresses, okay, and that kind of thing. But if you're a part of my Ustream show and you think that you might want to do this, I can't do more than 25. So it would have to be the first 25 that um, emailed me. Okay, so if you are interested, go ahead and email me. I'm not setting a date or the perimeters of this or anything yet because I have to think about, how to set it all up against. It's a big project if you've ever done, especially with 25. Because what I'll do is I'll get in 25 self addressed stamped envelopes with 25 of your own cards. Now, here's what we'll have to do though. We'll have to limit it to, how am I going to do this? We can either do, I'll ask y'all while you're here. Do you want to do copies? Do you want to do it where everybody gets a copy? In other words, you'd have to make 25 color copies of your card, or we can just limit it to, like, you would only have to color, say, 3 or 5, whatever limit you guys would want. Okay, because I've done both kinds of swaps. I've done it where everybody will send me in like 3, and I will just, it will be random what person you get. Okay, in other words, like if Carrie, Paula, and Vicky sent me 3, those 3 might go to Orla, Eileen, and Mama 4, something like that. You see, and so you would not see everybody's. Now, of course, I would photograph everybody so everybody would at least get to view them, but you'd only get 3. The other option is like how we did the zine swap, where you would copy, you'd not send 25 originals, you would send one copy 25 times so that everybody would get a copy. So there's both options. Yeah, 3 originals or 25 copies. That's how it works. But you'll get whoever's, you'll get a random, person. Does that make sense? So, bye, Lisa. So, y'all, when you email me your suggestion. Would you like 3 originals or copies from the 25? Okay, so kind of, let me know your. That's true. Carrie said that the 3 originals might be better for people that don't have printers. Okay. Well, you're back now, AJ. AJ said she kicked herself out trying to email me. I'm not gonna, anyway. And if we get a lot, I can separate it out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much interest we have. But anyway, a color book, ATC. I like the originals. I think you can see the work everybody did, on them. 3 originals as opposed to, but some people like to see everybody's work. I do. I like to see everybody's work. But you're not going to get to see everybody's work if we just do 3 originals. I mean, other than me showing them to you on a Ustream recording. Okay, so y'all let me know. Everybody seems to be voting for 3 originals. Well, I know that's how most swaps work, is usually the host gets to keep one, Eileen. But if we're going to do 3 originals, I don't know. We'll see. Um, Carrie just posted it, Angie. There it is again. There's my email address, guys, if you want to email me your thoughts on it. And I'll write down some notes. Don't forget, we also have out, Kathy Cass is here. I think she was. What do you call it? The baby book round robin. I think it's gone from Cass and is going to Angel Orla. This is the Canadian girls, and then it's going to go to Sherry Shabs. So Angel Orla and Sherry Shabs will then be the next ones, and then Sherry Shabs will be mailing it to the U.S. And then we've got about another 15 people in the U.S. for it to get around. I knew it was going to take about 6 months for that baby book to get all the way around the world. It's already gone overseas. It's in Canada. And once it leaves Canada, it'll stay in the U.S. for those final 15 people. And then after I get it back, I'll do a show on it, and then it ends up in Debbie. I'm thankful that it's made it. It's around the world, and now it's in Canada. Bye, Z. Thanks again for all the lovely cards, and I know the girls that are going to get them will appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, so let's move on now, guys. So there's just that little idea because I want to get into the. I want to get over here into my journal and doing some kind of a project. Oh, there's those cards. I got them sitting right there. Okay. All right. So there's that project. Let me throw that over there. Oh, and this one. All right. So let me show you so far where I am in some different projects in here. Sip of cold coffee, but hey. Once you receive, take a picture, scan, and post for all to see or print. Once I get the baby book, AJ, yeah, I could do that. Take pictures of them all. Yeah, take a picture of it. Yeah. Before I send it to Deb. Yeah. If you're talking about the baby book. And for those of y'all that don't know the baby book, okay, I got the focus. Come back to mama. It's a little 1940s, I think it was, 1945 or something, little advertisement book that Deb Boring sent to me. And I thought it would be fun. It's just a little paper thin little book. Just send it to anybody. I think we had 20 people that wanted to participate. And I did the first two and just kind of like did funny faces on the little babies, and they had little funny sayings. It was like an advertisement for some kind of loan office or something, and they had these babies, and the babies were saying funny things. So we're like decorating them, putting mustaches on them, whatever you want to do, and writing your name in the cover, and then sending it on to the next person. And yeah, it's I hear it clicking, Marilyn. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so I'm talking about that as far as the baby book and who's got it. Cass is sending it to Orla. Orla's going to send it to Sherry Shabs. The other thing that I was talking about is the ATC swap with color book pages, that you've colored a section of a color book page and cut that out and glued it onto a piece of cardstock, write the information on the back, and we're going to do a swap. So everybody will end up sending it to me. Don't do it now. I'm just throwing it out there to see the interest and whether people want to do a 3 original where you've hand colored 3 original pages, not copies. I mean, you can copy your color book page and then color it and glue it on. But it's the actual coloring bits that you've done that you'd be sending me 3. Or you could send, and we haven't decided yet, guys, copies of 1, like color 1 and make copies, and then everybody would get everybody's copy versus 3 originals. Okay, so I don't know what people are confused on because there's a lag. There's a lag in chat, and yeah, so I don't know what people are confused on, what the baby book or the ATC. All right, so we're going to move on. Email me questions if you didn't get that. AJ, now you will doing it there. Color 1 page and you'll get. Oh, now that's another idea. Okay, so here's another idea. Eileen just said this. Color 1 page. Color 1 page and send it to me, and we could do a color page swap. That sounds, I'm liking that idea, Eileen. Instead of ATCs, a color page swap. Then you'd only have to color one, and you'd get another person's original. Yes, I'm recording still. It says I'm recording. It says I'm recording and the timer's still moving. Okay? I like that, Eileen. I like that the best of all. Liking that. That would be easier for me too. I do like that. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, a color page swap. All right, so again, let me know, email me, let me know your thoughts. Would you like to do the ATC, a color page? Just email me. All right, so let's get on to something here. Sorry, guys. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, you don't want to be interested in all that, just fast forward it, okay? All right, so here's what I have so far, and I'll stop at pages where I've glued something in. I'm just going to kind of do a flip here, where I've glued something in that I'm going to either color or going to color. Okay, I added this angel. This is not a color book page, but I did add that. I'm just going to kind of do a flip. I'm going to do a flop here. Going to do a flip here. All right, so here's one of the pages where we cut out the giraffes. I'm going to kind of do a little recap here. These are 3 of the giraffes that were in the book. And again, I use the original, so I can't show you what it looked like. But this is a picture of the cover. This is what the giraffes look like in the book, Okay. And I cut them out and put them where I wanted. And then paint around it and make my own story. So basically, I'm just using the color book images in my art journal pages like you would a collage. Okay, now, in this case, I had already colored the giraffes and then I matched them to a page and made them work. That's probably a little harder than it is if you would just cut these butterflies out, find the page you want to add them to, and then color them to match your background. That's much easier. I kind of did it backwards, but you could do it either way. You can color them first and then put them on. Find a page in my, this is my, one of my already backgrounded up smack and dragon type of backgrounds that I've already got work going already. Okay. Now I know y'all are talking about the color book and the swaps and stuff, but unless you put it in caps, I am not going to answer questions because I don't know if you're talking to me or just to each other. Okay. That's why I ask if y'all put it in caps, so I know if you're talking to me. Okay, so again, these are giraffes that I colored and then cut out and found a page for them to work in, and then kind of finished them up. I put the clouds in the water, had the water painted all around them. This one has tongue sticking out, so I made him like he's drinking from the water wheel. So thanks, Carrie. So, but if you want to just cut out some, like cut these fish out first, find a page you want them to go on, and then coordinate your coloring, your color book coloring to fit your page. Whatever works for you, you can do it all at the same time. Okay, here's another one. I did cut, these are old clip art. Last week, I think, I showed how before all the color book craze, the Dovers still had their clip art books and their version of color books out years and years ago. And so I had just cut these, I just blew them up in the printer and then cut them out. And so you can see I put this little arch glued on top of this collage image that I'll then go in and color. And then add in paint and maybe make this grassy or whatever. Then I'll turn it into a story. But this is the other way you do it, is you find where you want to find where this, I'll go and color this in to match, is what I'm saying, rather than having an already colored piece and putting it in to match. Thanks, guys. All right, again, that's just an angel figure. Here's that other bit of clip art that I had used previously in that other um, journal from way back when, some years ago on Ustream. I had this left over from that project, so I'm going to glue it in here. Again, I'll go in here with markers or paint or pencil or whatever. But be aware, anytime you're going to put any wet, like water soluble mediums in your books, you can't varnish them. You could spray them and seal them with certain ones, and I just don't bother with that. But if you're going to varnish your book, you want to make sure you're not varnishing over anything that's going to run. Okay. Here's one of the angels from the angel book. I just cut her out. I wanted to show you different versions and different ways to use your books, your color books. So you can just cut them out, then glue them on, or not glue. You can color them off the book because it will get a little lumpy if you've got a lot of collage stuff, so you want to be aware of that too. If you glue in a blank piece to color, if there's a lot of collage underneath, you're going to have a little trouble coloring it because it's going to be bumpy. In this case, I don't, but be aware. You might want to say, okay, I want her here, but I'm going to color it over here and then glue it in separately after, after I color it, then glue it. So you might want to just cut some images out. I do have some other ones back here. You might want to cut some images out and have them handy. Like this one is from that stained glass book. You might want to just have some images handy and then just kind of audition them through your book and say, okay, all right, I do want him here, so I'm going to color him over here and then glue him here. And you could use these colors for your inspiration in how you color him. Okay? I spend all day here, Miko. I know people say, how do you get so much done? I'm retired from visual merchandising. I worked since I was, pretty much, back when I was young. We could start working when we were like 14. But anyway, I've pretty much worked all my life. And so now that I'm, been retired for, different, anyway, I spend all day arting. Okay, I do all this. I do my commissions. I do my portraits. If y'all don't know that I'm a portrait artist, I do color pencil portrait work. But I do all this streaming for inspiration, and I do it for free, hopefully to inspire you to do whatever. But yeah, I do get a lot done, Miko. I do get a lot done because I work at it. I do work at it all day. So anyway, so like for instance, if I said, oh, I kind of would like this here, then instead of gluing it down right off like I did this angel, I'll come over here and color it and then glue it in there. And then maybe, blend in some other things. But again, if you're going to go over any of this after you've glued it in, be aware of what materials you've used. If you're using acrylic and color pencil, you'll be able to kind of brush some acrylic paint over it. Like I did the giraffes. Like this. I was able to go over color pencil. Okay, I was able to go over color pencil with this white paint. But if this had been watercolor or watercolored markers, that would be picking up. So you got to, be aware of what you're using in your mixed media, of what you're going to go over. Thanks, Vicki. I know y'all do. I thank you guys. Okay, so that's the other option there. So you could just, keep some of you can cut them out first. Like these little lizards, the birds, all these cardinals. If you don't want, you might want to color this whole background. And I'm just showing you options to use with your color books, rather than just having just a book that you fill from front to back, which is nothing wrong with that. That's what I plan on doing with my Paula Paris book. I call it that because she's the one that, oh, and speaking of it, you guys, well, I'll remind me when I get done talking about this here. The J.J. Abrams book, guys. Yeah, I've got it on hold at Books a Million, Paula and Z. I got it on hold at Books a Million. I got to go over there and get it. But I have a theory. I have a theory about that book, guys. I don't want to say it on the recording, but I do. I have a theory about it. If y'all are going to read it and work it. Okay, so anyway, instead of having to color all the background, the leaves, the berries, maybe you just want these cardinals. Well, rather than, you could color it in the book, because it is kind of cool to color it in the book. But then don't feel like you have to color all the background if you don't want to. Color the cardinals. And you know, Miko, you don't have to color them red. You could color them any color you want. They don't have to be cardinals. They could be anything you want. Yeah, I saw that, Paula. But I have a theory about the way the book is going to work. And I haven't even seen the book in person, just what you and Z have shown. So, I could be totally wrong, but I have an idea. I'll share it with you. Okay, so anyway, back to the coloring book. So you could either cut these out ahead of time, like this, okay? Let's just say I want this one. You could just cut one out and keep a little bit of his claws there. And then color. I don't think I'm going to keep the branch. I'll put my own branch on. I just might want just this one or two. And you, again, make a copy if this is freaking you out. Oh, and I should have got the little scissors out. These is big scissors here for cutting this. All right. Okay, so there. So you could do this and then kind of go through your book and say, oh, it needs a bird on it. It needs a bird on it. Then you say, okay, I want it here. Well, rather than gluing it on now, sorry, I'm giggling at the chat, guys. And, or you can, come over here and color it to match this and use a purple and the yellow and make him a magenta bird and then have him, sitting right there. She made it when I got that out. Hey, I use my stuff. I'm telling you, when I get a new supply, guys, I know some of you like to treasure your supplies. I rip right into them. I bust them open, start coloring, cutting, pasting, using, whatever. Except my color box that's made just for sniffing. But I do have other color crayons for using, which I swear I got to get that. I know I've shown y'all this before. Martha's never here. So. Maybe in the winter when I wouldn't think it's going to melt. For those of y'all that don't know, our Martha does wax color crayon paintings with crayons. And I think she needs these. But I can't mail them in the summer. She'd just get a big ball of wax, right? Anyway, I keep saying I'm going to send those because, my kid, the grands don't use them anymore. They're way past all that. Cameron's into Copics, for goodness sake. He's going to look at a bag of color crayons like, really, Nana? Really? I'm saving up for a full set of Copics, and you giving me a bag of color crayons? No. Anyway, so that's just another Paula wake up. Somebody give Paula some smelling salts over there. Okay, so you could color this. Maybe we'll just take a minute and do that after I flip through the book. Okay, we'll just use him as a little bookmark there. We'll just keep him there. So we might color him. Oh, that's kind of good there too. We just don't want to do him like this. Okay, so let's keep going. All right, so Again, another angel and one of the little Celtic crosses from a separate book. Okay, this is from the angel book that I just bought over the weekend, and I just used that little bit of her. But I wanted this watch, the time surrounding her like that, or him. I I think they most of them in this book are girls. But quick question: if you use a fixative, can you use a heat gun to dry it the rest of the way? Well, Galena, I gotta say, I don't use fixatives except on graphite sketches that I want to paint over, like in this book right here. This book right here, I did a bunch of graphite animal sketches to use for my fantasy posters. And I sprayed them. I take it outside and I spray it with a fixative before I do any other painting or whatever on them. I never fix anything after the fact. When I'm completely done with something, no fixatives at all on anything. I do use my varnish on the art cards and things that are done in acrylic. Okay, like my art cards. Like, let me grab one. I varnish these, but these are all acrylic. There's there's not even any color pencil on these because color pencil can move with varnish as well. So I varnish these, my art cards, but it's just acrylic paint and collage. There's no water soluble, there's no pencil. This is all acrylic paint, as is my other Diane Reevely book. It's all paint. Okay. This one has got inks, the dilutions inks, which can move. It's going to have all kinds of, it's got a little of everything, including color pencil. I will not varnish this book. Okay, this will not get varnished. But to answer your question on the fixative, the only thing I use fixative on is if I have a pencil sketches, graphite sketches that I want to work on top of, that I will spray. And I take it outside. There you go, Cass. Cass, 200 stained glass pattern, book stored away. There you go. Exactly. Exactly. Pull those babies out and color them up. Make a copy and color them up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's like me. I've got tons and tons and tons of clip art books from before I had before computers. I always say I don't mean before computers were invented. I mean before desktops, before we all had computers at home. We had to do, any kind of advertising or anything like that with clip art. Graphic art was all clip art, you know. I got tons of clip art books. So yeah, pull those out. Like that one page I showed you, this one here. This image right here is from a clip art book, and I think the image was about that big. So I just blew it up in in your paint program, your, Photoshop, whatever you got, and printed it out large. Now, granted, it's an inkjet printer. If I start slapping water all over this, it's probably going to run. But if just some marker, just some, let's see, let me get a kind of a red color. Just some marker and then shading with color pencil, it'll be fine. Okay. Maybe I need to color something for you guys. Not that y'all don't know how to color. I don't mean to be condescending. Don't email me. Okay. That's not going to run. Now, if I get a yellow and go over and over and over, like where that ink is, it will probably start turning, picking up that ink. You just got to test these things out. It's going to depend on your printer, what you're coloring with, if you're using watercolors, if you're using, um, again, Copics, or, if you're using these kind of color books like this, any kind of alcohol-based marker is going to go right through. Just like y'all saw that one had the black Sharpie came right through. So, but I enjoy, these are just the cheap kids Crayola super tips. And that's because they have like these bullet tips. They're water-based. Now, they're not watercolor. They're not going to blend. In other words, it might make a little bit of a yellow, orange if I put the yellow and red together, but they don't blend like a Copic. Okay, they're just water based. And what I'll do with them is I will use it as a base. Okay, and then like let's see, I need a purple, and I got tons of them. I got 2 sets of them. They come like 50 in a pack for $10, and that's without a coupon. You can get 50 of them with a coupon for like $5. And they always have them on sale and stuff. I'm looking for a purple. Okay, so let's just add this light purple. All right, so I'm going to go over. And they will streak. They're not, they're pretty good because you're using a bullet tip. It's like a big tip. So it will kind of, sort of blend, but it's not going to blend like a Copic. Okay, I'm just saying. They're just water-based. Okay, but you can get enough of a base and then now it's got to dry. Again, that's wet. Okay, I'll have to hit that with the heat gun. Okay, what kind of watercolors are those? Those are those Chinese watercolors that you get at, I forget the name of them. They're in the tube. You get them at Hobby Lobby. I think Michael's too, Vicki. And I just had them sitting in the tubes, and I was never using them. So I put them in these little old making memories brad holders and let them dry. I did not let that blue one dry, and I turned it over, and it kind of leaked. So I'm going to have to clean that one off. But I just squeezed out the tube watercolors and let them dry. I left them open and let them dry, except for that one blue, which now I've got to go in there and clean off. But, and the stacks, these are just the little stacks, you can stack them. But make sure they're dry before you start tilting and turning and tipping, because you're going to get them all over the place while they're still wet. But let them air dry for a day or two, and then they're your little watercolor palette. Isn't that handy? Like that. And it's just those little cheap plastic making memory brad holders. Okay, the markers are the Supra Tip Crayola Super Tips is what they're called. Crayola Super Tips, and they're bullet tip. And I like those because you can do thin, medium, and a thick coat like that. Okay, so that's still wet. You cannot color pencil on top of wet anything, whether it's watercolor, marker, acrylic. Do not try to shade and blend color pencil. I can't stress it enough. And all you have to do is do it once, and you'll see once you tear into your page or it's not blending. Why isn't this working? Why isn't it blending? It's because your paper's wet. Take all our confetti out of our plastic things. Oh my gosh, Eileen. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit this with the heat gun just so I can do a little show and tell here. I still have to go through the rest of the book and show you the other things I've glued in here, including one of the kimono girls. It just takes a second because, it's just a little bit of marker. But then that's when you can go in with your color pencils, whether it's just some cheap ones. My mom said, do I need to go get some Prismacolors to color in my color book? No. If you're just coloring in a coloring book, don't go out and spend $200 on a set of color pencils. Unless you're Paula. Sorry, Paula, I can't resist. Okay, so let me find my bundle of purples. Okay, so here's the bundle of some purples. That's my dark purples. Here's my light purple. I got some light purples back in here somewhere. Where are they? I'm not finding them right now. Okay, so we'll just go with this. All right, so let me just I got a medium purple here, and let's get a dark. Let's get a medium and a dark just so I can show you. And I like to keep my pencils by color families in little rubber bands because I can pick up that whole bundle of those colors and just kind of fan them out, see what I have, see what I want to use, and they have a home. I do not do this with my Neo colors, Jean. I'm just teasing. Jean doesn't either. Jean's Neo colors do have a home, but they touch each other and they're all bundled up. Neo colors for me are way too expensive to have bundled up. They need to live in their tin. They need to live in their tin, lined up like the little soldiers that they are, because they're expensive, little soldiers. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with like a medium. Again, color pencil, light and layers. Lots of layers. Hey, Rain, anybody else popping in? I think I said I had an art unit. Okay, so I might end up going over the whole thing lightly where I've done the the marker. Okay. Very light coat, but because it's got that base coat of a marker under there, that's all it took to kind of blend it out. Now I'm going to go in here with my darker purple. Again, nice coat here, but now you can start shading and blending. So I can go in here with the darker one, go back with the lighter one and start blending. I could even go in here with some white. Where's my white pencil? I'm not seeing it. Now, let me get another one. I'm not seeing my white color pencil. And go in there and highlight. But the reason you can layer is because, and Paula found this out, she even tweeted about it and Instagrammed and Facebooked and blogged. No, I'm just kidding. About how it does take a lot of layers and it does take a lot of time if you want this kind of coloring. It doesn't take anything just to get your box of colors out and have fun. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying if you want to do a lot of blending, and which to me this is a great practice for anybody that does any kind of color pencil or layering work, because you're practicing on a color book page, for goodness sake. It's just a color book page, right? All right, so then you can go back in and just keep, blending back and forth, back and forth. I'm not pushing down hard at all. It's just better just to sit here and go like, in the same area over and over and over and over and over and over and over, real lightly, than it is to bear down and get a waxy buildup immediately. Because once you get that waxy buildup, you can't layer over it. And I know there's people that say you can wipe it back and take a cloth. That's way too much trouble to me. Just be gentle. Oh, Paula, you're so sweet. Just be gentle. Now, Paula, it's one thing to say inspiring, it's another thing to say enabled. Okay, so I'm just going to keep, lightly going over this one area. And you got to take your time. Those girls with the kimonos, I probably spent a couple hours on each one. Okay? Those girls I showed y'all earlier with the kimonos, and I have one more in here too. I probably spent 2 hours or so on each one. It has to be a process. You have to enjoy the process. If you're one of those people that just want to get to the end of the results and see what you've done and have it done, this is not for you. I'm saying color pencil blending is not for you if you want it done in a hurry and have it look really cool. It's a lot of layering. Okay, so there's just that one little section right there just to kind of show you. And actually, I'll probably even go in there with some even black, darker purple or black. I don't even know if I have a black right here. Here. And like really define some of those edges, but I won't leave it like that. I'll go back in there with the purple again and blend in the black and the purple together. But if I want a nice dark edge from the background, or you could go in there with a even darker purple or this black. Okay. Know what I mean, Vern? But in this case, I'm trying to match him to the color environment. You can color separately and then find a page, or like I said, just take it as black and white and, move around your book and find a spot for that image. You want to use that image somewhere, then find a page. If you're doing this kind of thing, where you're starting out with a mixed media background that you want to turn into a story. Okay. All right, so let's keep going here. Oh, here's where I'm going to do that bird. I'm going to put a bird on it there. All right, so let's just keep going here. I'll show you what else we got in here. So again, those are glued down, but you don't have to glue everything down. These are just background, smack and drag in the ink, collage, and stencil. Okay, then I'll go back in and turn them into stories. Here's an angel. I don't like to cut images right down the middle and put them in the middle of the book because they never cohesively go together again. You always will get some kind of a something in the middle there. But in this case, when I put her on the page, she just fit right there. It just had a perfect spot for her. So I went ahead and did cut her down the middle and glued her on 2 pages. But I don't like to, and I definitely do not like, even though I've done it a couple times, I don't like to glue like from page to page and just kind of like shove it in the crease there, because that's going to the water and the glue is going to tear it anyway. Eventually it'll start ripping and tearing, so you might as well just go ahead and cut it, get a nice neat division of your image and glue it in. But if you kind of fold it over, it's going to eventually tear anyway. Okay, so some of these are just farther along than others. You can see where I just have different. Okay, here's one of the steampunk girls. I started coloring her and I said, well, I really want her, in this book, but I'm not sure where. So I stopped coloring her and then decided I want her on this page. And so I will finish coloring her to be cohesive with this page. But she's out of the steampunk book. Now I do have a few steampunk ones in here as well. Okay, again, another one of those clip art Celtic knots. Clip art Celtic knot there. Nothing going on here, really nothing going on there. So you can just see, but you might want to, say, okay, I like that there. I like it there. And don't be afraid to, in collage, mixed media, or any of this stuff that I'm showing you, don't ever be afraid to just like smack it right over the top of something. Don't feel that this image is so precious that you can't go over it. Because I'll tell you, if you do that, and again, don't say never, but if you feel your images are so precious that you've glued down and that you're afraid to cover them up, you won't be free in your compositions. You'll be guided by the images there rather than what looks good compositionally. You'll say, oh, I can't cover that up. I can't cover that up, even though the composition calls for it to be, wherever it is. You'll say, I can't cover that up. So your composition is going to look all like, not as good as it could be if you felt like, oh, well, I can cut that up. I can cover her up, So don't be afraid to cover up, your images. And again, I don't color copy anything out of a magazine, calendars. I just cut it right out of the book, right off the calendar, right out of the magazine, and glue it in. So it's a one-shot thing. So if I cut her out of a book and I don't have a backup, okay, which somebody will say, well, then why don't you? I just don't. I just don't like color copying things and gluing them down. I just like using the original stuff. But that's just me, okay? I like using the original stuff. Now, sometimes you have to, copy, like if you only got a one-sided book or, it's back and front, you want to use, both sides. But you saw, I just cut that little bird right out. It's not, I'm realistic with myself in my images, my collage fodder and all that. I personally know myself. If I had 3 of her, I will never use 3 of her. the chances of me ever using that image again, if I had color copy, are practically zero. I like her in this. I don't love her so much unless she was Mona Lisa, I might, but you know what I mean, Vern? I'm not going to reuse that image, say, on this page. So I know myself. I'm only going to want to use her one time. I'm only going to want to use that flower, once, or, if it's real, if I have two calendars and I have two of that image, I might use it again, but cut it up and use it in a different way. I just don't reuse the same images over and over. So for me, making copies of any of this, I know myself. I just wouldn't reuse that. Okay. Okay, so anyway, so you can see all this. I just added some little, I like that yellow right there. I'll probably end up blending all this. It's not all blended. It's not a story yet. Okay. Okay, here's one of these stained glass books. Now, these Dover stained glass books were that parchment. Let me grab one so you can see. Hang on, guys. These books here that I've had forever. And they are like that, see-through, not parchment. It's, kind of, it's not vellum. It's just, kind of a transparency type of paper. I guess it's a version of some kind of a parchmenty, vellumy stuff. Okay. But it's, so you can use either side. Okay. But that's not going to work in here, see? All right. So this is one of the things I copied out and just cut that out, colored her, and then found her a home. You could do it either way. You could color it first and find it a place in your journal, or you can color it, find the page, color it off to the side, and make it match. See, I haven't even finished coloring there. Okay, so I just glued this in for an example for you guys. Okay, so let me see if I'm missing anything here in chat. I know I love Celtic knots too, Jean. I've got books on how to do it. I've shown y'all them before. How to do the knotting, the history of the knotting, using it in your calligraphy. I mean, just tons of different. I've always loved the Celtic knots. So there's just an example of, and like Cass Kathy, she's got probably tons of the stained glass type of look to do real stained glass books of that. Again, great way to, use up those images in your art journals. Okay, so here's where I took, and she's not done yet either, but I took a bit of a steampunk face from the steampunk book. I personally like the way this kind of looked like this woman looking at a medieval woman, time travel, kind of the juxtaposition of the past and the future. So again, she's not done coloring. So I can color her to match all of this. Okay. All right, no questions. Okay, keep on moving here. So again, just different bits of stuff that will end up being the background. Okay, this will end up being the background for whatever. So just kind of flip through here. I know y'all seen, okay, so here's one of the steampunk ones, and there is a recording of this. This is the steampunk couple from the steampunk book, and again, I just cut it right out of the book. Let me see if I can find that one. I don't know where I put the steampunk one. But I do have the fairy one here, and again, the same kind of thing. I showed this last week, where you can cut these, color and cut them out. The steampunk one, I don't know what I did with it. It's around here somewhere. I've got all my books everywhere now, so I don't know. But anyway, it's a Creative Haven one. They're $5.99, and at Hobby Lobby you can use coupons. Michael's, you cannot use coupons on books. Okay, so this one I had colored in this steampunk couple, and then glued it in this book, and then you can see how I have blended the paint over the image. See, I painted right over the top of them. It's none of it's so precious that you can't paint over an area if you need to. For me, okay. So let me just kind of show you. See, see that there. So then I did a time machine here. This was a piece of a watch. I think this one was from Stax, Imelda, and this watch bit. So I turned this into a time machine and put a door and all that over the top of it. And all that's paint. It's all painted right on top of the images. And y'all have seen me do it a gazillion times. I do it all the same technique, you know, the collage. And the, now if I'm just doing some backgrounds that I just want for backgrounds, I can do all kinds of things on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, cut it up, turn it into ATCs or art cards, and then work on top of those. Okay, but to do a story like this, it's all the same process. Okay, all right. But they all start like this. They all start like this. Then they advance to this. Then they might go to this. Then there'll be paint and clouds and water and stars and ships and whatever. Okay? Again, see, I'm just playing with, I'm just using him as an example. Don't be afraid, just, you know, play around with your images. And all this gets painted out anyway. In my mind, I can see blue covering that up. It's not a problem. Don't, you can paint over anything. Okay? You just can't be afraid. And again, you know, never know. Maybe I just want half of him. Like that. I'll tear him in half if I need to. So anyway, I'm just using this one as an example. Okay, let me check my chat. Didn't scroll here. Hang on, guys. I missed some of what y'all said. Just several times. If you want to learn layer and a princess. Okay, so Lynn is recommending a. Well, it's like you can't learn it here, Lynn. No, I'm just kidding. Lynn's telling now if you want to learn blending, color pencil blending, go to so and so. I'm teasing you, Lynn. It's like, oh, you can't learn any of it here? I'm teasing. Okay, I'm scrolling because my chat has stopped scrolling about 10 minutes ago. Okay, let's see. All right. Hi, Molly, Denise. I just saw y'all come in. Dana. Hey, Dana. Yeah, I can. Yeah, yeah. It's my scroll just stopped. I'm going. I'm scrolling now. I'm reading. I'm scanning. I'm scanning. Sharon. Okay, I think my chat's locked in now. Uh oh. Let me. Okay, hang on. Let me get my main chat back. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna have to refresh my chat. Hang on, guys. Let me refresh my chat and repop it out. I think all that scrolling said, Ustream went, we're not scrolling all that. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm here. I had to scroll my chat because sometimes the scroll bar doesn't lock. I try to click it every so often, but yeah, the scroll bar doesn't lock all the time, so you got to keep clicking it to make sure it's locked in. Okay. So if there's anything I missed in the last 10 minutes other than Lynn saying that you need to go somewhere else to find color blending, other than that, I'm just teasing, Hi, Stack. There's time. I mean, seriously, if y'all know great artists all over the net, my links are open for you to post classes you're taking, YouTubes, used to anybody that you know that's doing something cool that you want us all to see. It's all good. Okay, you can post it. Oh, I won the lottery? Yeah, right, Vicky. Okay, let me keep going. Okay, so here's another steampunk girl. All right, so again, I'm not quite finished coloring her in, and I've got some more blending to do. but I'm putting her, and I'll probably make these wings. I'll probably make these wings come out somehow. This one already kind of looks like it's going that direction to make some wings. Okay, so I'm going to blend out some uh, more for her. Or I might find something that I cut out, some bird wings right there. I'm liking that idea. Okay, so for instance, now see, rabbit trail. Let me look at my bird drawer. Okay, let me see if I can quickly find, just so it doesn't have to match. It doesn't have to match. It just has to go. Is that Tim Gunn? Doesn't have to match. It just has to go. Like there's a bit of a feather right there. Let's see. Let me just kind of, bit of a wing there. So I don't know, you know, it could go this way, it could go like that. I don't know. All right, let's just peek here. I have, oh, I also have like close-ups of feathers. Oh, okay, let's see. Flipping through, I'm just flipping through some bird images. There's a, that's too big. Something even like, oh, Eileen, look what I just found. Love you, Eileen. All right, close your eyes, Eileen. Okay, so like for instance, this one right here. Oh no, I don't want to cut that out because that's a peacock on that side. Oh, but you know what? That might be good. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut a couple of peacock feathers out here. We're going to go with that. You just got to sometimes just go with it, not overthink it too much. Another pile goes behind me. Okay, so like these, I'm liking. Now, of course, I cut them down and trim them and make them fit. I think I want this one over here. Like something like that. That's awesome, isn't it? I'm just going to take a glue stick for now because I don't want to stick on this page. I mean, I don't want to stay on this page, but I just want to tack it down there so I can, something like that. Okay. I'm liking the peacock feathers. Okay, so that's, like I said, it's just tacked down lightly with a glue stick. It won't hold it, but it'll just. But anyway, so let me just kind of show you a kind of a close up. All right, so her hat right here. See, I already had a peacock feather, and I'm working on. That's paint right there. I'm working on bringing that out. But then, because you can go over acrylic paint with color pencil, you can go in there. Look at this, people. See? Go back over it, because that's acrylic paint right there. I'm doing this up in the air. I'm holding the book up in the air. But you see how you can go over acrylic paint with color pencil? Yeah. So you see how the background and everything's working? Now it's not blended out yet. All this is still, you know, I'm still kind of working it out. But I have these two cabbages here. Just kind of reminded me of a bustle. That cabbage right there behind her, so that's a perfect bustle, right? Okay, let's keep going. All right, so I don't have a whole lot more. Okay, this is from an old clip art that was probably about this big that I blew up. And I just like the way that that little bit of fractal fit like right over his head right there. Again, just, you know, all works in progress here. You know, you just never know where he might fit. Oh, I know. That's the pits when your paints are packed. It's the pits when your paints are packed. It's pathetic. I don't know. Maybe he needs to be come at his little head popping out of that jar there. Okay, so here's a place that now this page is done. This is where we used out of this Naturescape book. Again, I can't show you the page because it's the original. Um, but I just cut out the little clownfish from the background, and then they just fit here. And then this bit of alphabet stencil looked like it could be a castle, so we just kind of drew and sketched it in. Water, and then just had them all like, you like this? Oh, thanks, Carrie. Yeah, this is the book, my ongoing journal in progress that I'm working in. See, that looks like it should go there. Doesn't it? Doesn't he look like he needs to go there? So if I want to glue something in, I just use, now again, this is all glued in with my matte medium. This is all glued in with my golden matte medium. And I don't care that the matte medium moves some of the ink around, because at that stage it's all like happenstance backgrounds, okay? But once I start wanting to put some images on here, I cannot go over this easily, and it's going to depend on your printer. I can't matte medium over this inkjet print. Now, I could take this downstairs. I could go down there and spray it, fixative it, so that I could glue it down with matte medium. But I know that I'm going to want a color pencil and marker on him, so I really don't want any coating on here anyway. The matte medium is going to put a coating on there that might resist what I want to do with water markers or color pencil. So if I just want to glue something in that I'm going to want to color like this, I'll just take my Eileen's Tacky. Again, let me give you a big hint on the gluing of with tacky glue or any kind of, school glue, Elmer's glue, anything like that. Don't just, go around the edges real carefully and cover it in like that, and take this and take that and glue it down. See all those lumps and bumps? See all those lumps and bumps? I have phone books. Here, go grab a phone book. This is the purpose of phone books anymore. Phone books are made to take and use it for gluing, spreading glue. I always take and smear out those bumps. I'm telling you, don't glue lumpy, bumpy papers, especially thin papers like copy paper with all those lumps in there. It will show. You will get bumps. You will get lumps. Okay? There we go. Did I see Vaughn came in? Happy birthday, Vaughn. You weren't in the birthday book. You are now. And your card is coming your way. We've already discussed you thoroughly this morning, Vonnie. You have been talked about all morning, Vonnie. Okay, so now, or I could have colored it first. I could have colored it first and then glued it in. But I really like the way the black and white and the black and the white owl. I'm liking that for now. I just like the way that looks for now. So I will live with that. Yes, avoid the lumpy bumpy. And that's, a old phone book, or a new phone book for that matter, is perfect for that. Okay? All right, so let's keep going. Yes. Air pockets. Yes, exactly. And bumps. Air pockets and bumps, AJ. And AJ goes, and ask me how I know. Miko says, and they talked about you, Vaughn. Let me tell you what they said. Well, it's recorded, Miko. She can go back and watch the recording. Okay, so again, these pages back here, I just got, and then we did a steampunk frog and a chickadee thing here. His eyes never did work out well. I tried to put some stickles on there. I tried to Happy Diane juice them up. It just wasn't, anyway, but it was still fun. Not every page has to be, Anyway, so there's my steampunk little chickadee, and we just drew those. Okay, so again, just different bits and different, things have been glued down in different stages, ready for more stuff. There's a little angel. I put that angel on top of that. Oh, here's the other girl I colored. So here's the other little kimono girl. I should say girl in the kimono, not kimono girl. So you can see. And in this case, I did match the green, the yellow, and some pink. That looks red on camera. That is actually hot pink right there. That's hot pink, it's the same color as this. It shows up totally different on camera, but that's a hot pink. All those flowers there, what looks like red on camera is actually a hot pink. Yes, it had happy dye eyes. That's right. I call Stickles happy dye juice. And so anyway, so you can kind of see. And again, I haven't blended her in. I might have some uh, clouds coming over here. Might have some more stuff coming in. I don't know. I wanted just to do one just to show you guys one glued down on a colored background rather than just the ones. If you are late, just coming in. I'll show you the other two I colored and just put in my big glue book here. Here's one. It's all the same process. Different parts are marker, color pencil over marker. Okay, so there's the her and her. So you can see, I just cut them out. I colored them and cut them out. Yes, this is a Dylusions journal. This is a Diane Reevely journal. This is my second one. And it's a work in progress. I smack and dragged the whole book. And I've also got that big Moli too, the big 16 by 20 Moleskine. I smack and drag that one too. And that one I'm saving for more larger images or fuller stories. So these just have a few things glued into them here in the back. And then I just have some extra images here. I even cut out, this is one of the little squirrels. This is graphite. Okay, that's pencil, so that'll come off. So this needs to be fixatived before I glue it in because the pencil, the gray you see is all pencil. But he was in another journal and I liked him, so I cut him out, even though I had to cut his whiskers off. But if I glue him in somewhere, let's just put him over that bird for a second. If I glue him in somewhere, I'll repaint those whiskers and those hairs. I'll just repaint those out. Yeah. So, and again, I've just got some leftover images and things back here in the back to use in the book. So when I have the ones that are done, like this one and a couple of the steampunk ones. Where's the steampunk one? I don't do them in any kind of order. I go by color and what the story I want to put in there. So it doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the book or where. Okay, so there's that journal. Let's see, what time is it? We've been here about 2 hours plus the other 30, 45 minutes on the, didn't really do anything. I could color something, but, oh, let me show you a couple other things. Let's see. Of course, I haven't worked anymore in this is my Secret Paris Paula book. I call it that. Oh, no, I don't want to say that on recording. I was going to talk about my book on hold, but I won't talk about that on the recording. Yeah. So this is my one that if I colored something on camera, I'd want to make sure it was something big enough for y'all to be able to see. I mean, I'm pretty much as close as I can get. And of course, camera does not like white. You can see how it's already flashing out compared to, see, look, compared to, see how it does with the lighting? So that's what happens when you try to put white book or paper under the camera. See, that's the problem with doing things on. That's one of the main reasons I started doing a lot of drawing on the scroll, the art craft paper scroll, just because of that. It goes from that to that. But anyway, so in this book I just color bits. I'll just go through and whatever I feel like coloring. I don't try to color a whole page at a time. There's a, for some of y'all know the little cornflower Corningware design. I color that in to look like that. Coloring is good. Coloring's always good. These I did on camera to show y'all. This is acrylic paint. Again, it's not watery. It's not a lot. It's just very dry, very, you know, let me just see if I can grab a gold here. And then you can go over it and start shading. Oh, that's not going to show up. Let me get white just so it'll show up. You can start, you can color and blend on top of acrylic. Once you make sure it's dry. And if it's too white, the thing I like about a white pencil is you don't have to leave it that color. In other words, I'm going over the red with the white to give it some highlights. But if you really don't want it that white, then just go back in there with the red, and you can go over the white and it'll still be lighter than the paint that was underneath. Again, lots and lots of light layers. Can't stress that enough. See how you can start blending? And I'm holding it up in the air, so hopefully. I mean, I'm barely touching, barely touching. Maybe you do want a little bit of a yellow. Kind of to it. Okay. So it's just lots of layers. But so that's just another something you can use underneath. I would not even recommend, there's the one that I colored in my other book that I made a copy of. I would not recommend markers in this. Even, you know, I used acrylic paint here, dry, very dry acrylic paint. In other words, just like right out of the jar. No water, no water, because that'll wrinkle it and sink through. These markers, even these cheap water-based ones, will go through this paper. So that's why you want to just stick with color pencil if you want to color, fully color in a book. What cares? Yeah, I like this book too. So where's my girl? Oh, I love these teacups. Okay, where's the girl that I was? Right here. So I made a copy of her to put in this book because it just reminded me of me with the pinned up hair. So I colored that. There's the coloring. So you can see what it looks like that. Let me hold it up. Okay, and then here's how I colored. There's my version of it. Bye, Ella. Hi, and bye, Ella. And hi, Marilyn. Anybody else I missed? Okay. So there's just my, and again, she's completely cut out around the edges and glued in the very last page of that book. Let me make another pile. And it's got all these clothes. I love everything about this. But again, you almost have to go 100% color pencil, maybe a little acrylic, you know. But you almost have to do it 100% color pencil because it's double-sided. Now, if you want to make a copy and color it and then use markers, that's a different thing. But I want to finish this book completely. And like Paula said, I'll probably take the rest of your life to do it. Thanks, Dana. And so this is all just color pencil here. But I might have spent 30 minutes on that hat. I don't get in a hurry. I just take my time and enjoy I'm all about the process. All about the process. If I'm not enjoying the doing of it, then I don't want to do it. If I know that it's going to be no fun to color this whole page, then I don't want to do it. I'll color little bits at a time. Okay. Well, yeah, you could buy two books too, but that would bug me if I colored one side and there's run through on the. I couldn't do it, Vicki. Yeah, can do. Oh, you mean just to have one for copies and one for coloring? Yeah, I guess you could do that. This is pretty. I might want to color that. I need something big enough for you guys to see, on a camera. I can't color these tiny little things without. I guess I could take the camera off and set up on the little mini tripod, like right there. But I don't know. So anyway, I love this Paris book that Paula made me buy. I mean, showed us and found it. See, then this girl here, I did her at the beginning of my book. Those are the only two that I've made copies of and cut out. Okay, so there is my coloring. And I just cut her out. And then I drew my hair. I drew the hair because it just reminded me of me. So I drew the hair that I had cut off. So there's the picture. And then here's my version of it. And then I just hand drew hair flying. So let me take a quick look at the chat and see if there's anybody has any questions or anything. Well, we continue to flip through this. I'm about done out of here. See, that's another one. That would be fun to color and cut. I mean, I can color her in like that other shirt. I don't know if I want to do it the same colors, like red, black, and yellow. I might want to do it pink, black, and white. Maybe we'll color her. Okay. And then the back here has shows all the different ones on the inside. So, any questions or anything? Let me check it. Thanks, Paula. Any questions on, I still got more stuff to show you. Now, I've shown you these books before. These aren't new ones. I've had them for a while. This one especially, this clip art book I've had for years. And I think they've even come out with another version. I think Paula has the newer one that says 6,000 flowers. This is an older version. I got this one maybe 2-3 weeks ago. You want me to color her? Okay, hang on. I froze up for a second, guys, with incoming mail. I'm surprised it didn't freeze me up a minute ago when I was talking about doing the swap, doing a color book page swap. If y'all are just joining me and you might be interested in either a color page swap of your choice or a ATC color book. Where's my little? Or using color book pages to make ATCs and do an ATC. So either one. Now, I'm not planned it out or anything. I'm just throwing it out there right now. But if you're interested in doing some kind of a color book swap, whether it's ATCs, a full page, or whatever, then email me. Okay, let me know. You like the one with the bird on her head? Okay, we'll color that one in a second. I'm going to have to go get some real quick. I know I have to make my coffee. Let me take, well, you know what? I'm going to have to do another part. Okay, I will, let me finish showing you these books. I'll save this and I'll come back and do a little color book page. I'll reboot my computer, give me about 5 minutes and I'll reboot my computer, and we'll come back for another part. You'll have to refresh and all that when I come back. But if you want me to color something, I'm not going to have time. I only have like 15 minutes left, 20, and I don't want to rush. I'm not rushing in my Paula book. Not rushing in my Paula book. Oh my gosh, Paula. So anyway, so the classic comic color book, these are all classic comic books. Look, all like vintage comic books. And there's a color book company in UK, and I follow them. You could probably just look back from a couple of days ago in my Twitter feed where I posted I did make a copy of one of these and cut it down and colored it, and I posted it. They really liked it. So there is a color book, a UK color book publishing company. Starts with an M. I want to say man, I forget now. It's not coming to me right now. But anyway, so they posted that they wanted to get this book. So I posted the picture that I am working on. And they liked it, they said, "Oh, awesome." So y'all go follow that color book company out of the UK. You can just find it in my Twitter feed. Find where I posted this, and you'll find the company linked to it. Okay, so here's the picture that I colored. I made a copy of. Let me show you the actual picture here. So here's the picture, and that one is actually shown colored right here. But I didn't like her in red and him in red, both of them in red, so I colored her in blue. You don't have to, just because a color book shows you their colors doesn't mean you have to color it like them. Okay, so this is one. I'm not quite done with it. I still have all these little octopus monster things to do, and I have to finish the ship. But anyway, so Gene. So here's the original. It's the same size, but I just cut it off, and I inked the edges to make it look like vintagey. So I just used some distress ink, ink cat's eye ink to distress it. So there's my version of that. So bye, AJ, and thanks anybody else that come and goes. All right, so one more. So again, this is I think now the new version is 6,000. I think Paula has it, or maybe it's 5,000. I don't know. It's more flowers you'll ever use, right? But they sell color books and drawing books. This is just a clip art book. It's a source book, right? And it's all broken out by different Art Deco and medieval and Chinese and Japanese, all different, themes. And the thing is you can copy these, make them as big as you want. You can make this one image, a big image like this, to glue into your art journal page. So just remember, if you have any of these old clip art books, don't just think of them, now you can think of them as color books and cutout books. Okay? Yeah. I knew you or Paula Carey have this book. Maybe both of you do. Okay? So there's just tons and tons and tons. And just one little image like this is, look, patterns of it. Okay, so this book is 4,000 flower and plant motifs. Again, I think there's a new version that's out with 5,000. This was published in 2004. Okay, 2004. So I know for a fact it's been updated. There it is. Carrie's posting it on Paula. Yeah, Amazon. Is that Paula's A store number, Carrie? Yeah. So if y'all, Paula, can you want to tell me real quick your A store number? Do you have it? Or Carrie, so that I can tell it on the recording. Paula has an A store through Amazon. I kept wanting to call it S store the other day. I don't know where that came from. but an Amazon store link so that she'll get a couple of pennies off anything you buy. She doesn't see what you buy. She don't care what you buy. But anything you buy off of Amazon, if you put in her number, she'll get a few cents off of everything you buy. Just had to throw that in. Okay, so it's journal. It's astore.amazon.com/journal 038-20. Let me write that down again because I'm always trying to promote that, and I never have it handy. Journal zero. Oh, it's a store. It's Amazon. Astore.amazon. Journal 038-20. Okay, so yeah, if you put that in, Paula will get a couple of pennies off everything you buy. Just saying. People say, well, why didn't you do it? Because she took the time to set it all up. She deserves the couple of pennies. Okay, so anyway, look through, and again, I've shown y'all a whole bunch of different clip art books throughout the years. Um, and so Barnes and Noble, you used to be able to buy the color book, the thinner ones like I showed you, the tapestry and all that. You used to be able to buy those tons at Barnes and Noble. And then they really quit selling them. They have a few like in the art section or the craft section, but they don't have a whole section like they used to. Now I bet all those stores wish they'd still carried all those clip art Dover color books, right? Now they're buying all the new ones. Nothing wrong with them all. They're all wonderful. And if you want to see a full collection of every single color book out there, just talk to Scrap Chick Colleen. She's not even here. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break, reboot the computer, and we'll color this page. Again, look, you're going to have to put up with this. See the difference in the lighting? But I think y'all can still see the picture, even though I look like I have the best tan I've ever had in my life. When I'm really this pale. Bless my heart. Okay, so I'll be back in a couple minutes, guys. I'm going to go and stop the broadcast and the recording, save it, reboot, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. So I hope y'all enjoyed this little bit of color book art journal chat on this part, and I'll be back to color. So thanks, guys. BRB.